in one word.
And what's that word?
Dibs.
First Dibs question of the day brought to you by Trantola and Trantola. They've been fighting for your rights, especially as victims, injured victims here in the state of Connecticut since 1938. To get in touch with them quickly, 844-999-9999. Joe Namath called out.
He's calling out a lot of people. He's calling out not only Zach Wilson, he's calling out Joe Douglas. He's calling out whoever developed this debacle of just putting all your cards in Aaron Rodgers' bag and now look at you. He wants Zach Wilson off the team. He does not want him starting Sunday night against Kansas City. As far as anyone with any kind of clout that wears anything Jets, and he's saying this on the Michael Kay show, big New York radio show. Our friend Michael Kay has all these guests on all the time. And he's saying this wearing a Jets shirt. Kurt has the audio. Go ahead, Kurt.
I wouldn't keep him. I've seen enough of Zach Wilson. All right? I've seen enough. How can a coach say the locker room's together? Are you telling me there aren't some cats on the defensive side saying, whoa, man, what's wrong with you? We're looking at an offense that just doesn't play well. For this fan, they need to make major changes from top to bottom.
He also took aim at Salah and Joe Douglas. He said, I didn't take anything positive away from it. It was awful on the Michael Kay show, basically giving Zach Wilson a vote of confidence. But I don't disagree, because when Robert Saleh says he gives us the best chance to win, not having a chance to win and having a chance to win, you have to throw somebody out there. Aaron Rodgers isn't coming through that locker room door. We said that last week. So, you have to work with what you have. So Aaron Rodgers came out today and said, guys, stop fighting. Grow up and play football. I mean, he's still trying to be a leader from a hospital bed, but it's not easy. When the last Super Bowl you won was under Joe Namath in 1969. You've had, so many close calls coming close to getting to the Super Bowl, winning Super Bowls over the years, but you've come up short. And now it just looks like you're so far away from it. But really, they're not. Their defense is excellent. You got an excellent defense. You got to do something with that offense. And you've got a long way to go before the end of the season. You can't quit on a guy right now and start begging guys to come out of retirement. That's not a good look.
And were you going to go with Tim Boyle? Like, that's who you got as your backup right now is Tim Boyle. You sent Mike White to Miami. You didn't want to pay for that backup. Yeah. He had a touchdown, by the way, in the blowout over the Denver Broncos, 2 for 2 with the score. Yep. We went through this exercise when Rodgers broke his Achilles. We gave a list of all the potentials, and it didn't really look that much better than what you're dealing with right now.
And even the guys that retired are blowing you off. They don't want any part of that, because one thing that even Anita Marks said at the beginning of the year was the offensive line, can they protect Aaron Rodgers?
Yep.
That didn't happen. He gets his ruptured Achilles. So now it's like you're blaming this all on the quarterback. Everybody's got to do their job on the offensive side for that team to win or have a chance to win.
I don't want to say Zach Wilson is going to be your franchise answer, but it's too late. You are in it now.
Right.
Now you have to deal with whatever you have, anyone on the waiver wire, anyone with the trade, whatever. But what you have going into the game against Kansas City is Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle. What else you got?
Schefter tweet is that they're planning to sign Trevor Siemian.
There you go. But is that like, wow?
That's more questions than answers in my book.
Oh, my God.
But it's at least an option that you can go to. It's at least somebody that you can throw in there if the first 2 quarters are atrocious. Dibbs is right. The defense has them in these ball games. They could have beat New England. They were a play away from beating New England.
They should have. They had the ball in the 20, and they're down 5, and they lost with 2 minutes left. I turned it off because I'm like, Jets going to win this game. I was that confident they were going to win the game.
Trevor Siemian's a good little insurance plan, but if I'm Trevor Siemian, I would get more insurance for myself. They moved Mekhi Becton to the other side of the line before the Patriots game. They're still trying to piece out this offensive front. And like I said in the first segment, these defensive linemen, the ones the Jets got included in this conversation, these defensive linemen, D tackles and D ends, are super freaks now. They are super freaks in this league. They are the game changers. And it doesn't matter if it's Zach Wilson, doesn't matter if it's Tim Boyle, doesn't matter if it's Aaron Rodgers, because he's going to be on his back if you don't get that front five set. It really won't matter in your offense of who's playing quarterback if they can't take a drop and they're going to have guys in their face.
I would say to Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas to sit down with the team veterans and say, is this the right direction? Because the most of these articles that I've read is like you're going to lose a lot. You never had the locker room. The locker room is by the veterans. They police themselves. And if the veterans on the defensive side and the veterans on the offensive line say, listen, you know what? We could go out and get somebody, but then we got to start over with that person. You know, this guy is good enough for us to get to the playoffs. Can we do it? I mean, those are the kind of conversations you have with your team. Stop having them publicly. You shouldn't have to continue to justify who your quarterback is.
I think Joe Namath's half right. I think what he says is true, but I just don't think that there are a lot of options you can turn to that is going to be an answer that is light years better than what Zach Wilson's already giving you, knowing the offense, knowing what he's got to deal, knowing the game plan for next week. Good luck, Trevor Siemian. Good luck, man. It's an opportunity, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad my Colts got Gardner Minshew.
Woo! All right, when we come back,